Hey everyone, I'm Dr. O, and like Jen introduced me, so I'm not going to really talk too much about me because I'm more interested in all of you. So thanks for sharing about all the injuries and all the things that you want to prevent and things that you want to work on, because we're definitely going to cover probably most of it, if not all. If we don't, come and see us afterwards and we'll check it out. We'll definitely do like free injury screening at the end if you need me to. So foam rolling, it's really good for muscle tightness, soreness, inflammation, increasing your joint range of motion, and that's going to be super important to reduce pain, because usually pain is a signal. It's something in our body that tells us we're not supposed to be doing something or we're doing something incorrect. Kind of like a check engine light in the car sort of thing, like, hey, there's something up here. And sometimes you can figure it out on your own, or sometimes you need someone like me to like plug it into the machine and go, here's what you got going on with the total body diagnostic. But so this is going to be, I call it functional foam rolling, because it's going to be to increase ranges of motion for normal ranges for like squats, deadlifts, as well as overhead activities. Because let's say you have a deficit in one side of your shoulder and you're like this, that's your range of motion. This side's a little bit less. Well, then every single time that you do a double arm overhead press, something's going to be going on here. There's going to be fighting and possibly pinching, and usually pain after a while if you keep doing it. So this is definitely going to be working on some of that stuff. Muscle tightness, range of motion, and therefore decrease the dysfunction going on in your joints and get you out of pain. So first of all, speaking of shoulders, that's the first thing we're going to do. We're always going to do kind of a before and after test. So we're going to do a before test. So everyone stand on up, find a wall.
Doesn't matter which wall.
Doesn't matter which wall. You just need to find a wall. And all you're going to do is you want to kind of almost tuck your tailbone a little bit. So posteriorly rotate your pelvis a little bit so your low back kind of presses against the wall, because if you don't do that, you can cheat. If you keep it like this, and basically the test is going to be seeing how far back you can come in through here while maintaining that. If you have this like this, you can make it easily because you're going to compensate with your lumbar spine. So round it, elbows up, 90-90, and then see how far back you can go. So I'm a little bit off the wall. And then is anyone getting tired too? Are you fatiguing? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll do it again afterwards. If you could touch the wall, we'll see how long it takes you to fatigue afterwards. This should open you up a little bit. All right, so everyone get to back to the mats, back to the foam rolls. So first, I'm going to be going over foam rolling the spine, because the spine has, as you could tell, you can cheat by using the spine. So if you don't have enough range of motion in the spine, then that's going to translate up to the shoulder. Same with the hips and all that stuff. So I'm going to show you my quick, it's a 3-step protocol, and on the ebook that you're going to be getting, there's a link to the YouTube video on there too, so you can always click the link if you don't remember it later. The first one I'm going to show you, I actually kind of invented, and I invented it because Coach Tato, when I was working on him, his back pain was mostly just this one little thing right up there at the TL junction. And then so I would manipulate him, he's like, wow, I feel great. And then later on, he stopped doing his stretches, and he was like, hey man, the pain started coming back. He's like, it's weird because all you did was just that little like click thing to me, and so that's why I invented the first one. Basically, it's to hit your TL junction. It's a little bit challenging, particularly if you don't have the core strength. If you don't have the core strength, you can put your
watch them, and then we'll walk you through.
Yeah, we'll first watch me, but you can always put your hands right here to help support you. But if you don't need to use your hands, okay, so it's just right there at the TL junction, your back is going to be a little bit rounded, and then you're just going to be hitting in that area for about 5 deep breaths.
So when he's saying TL junction in English, what that means is thoracolumbar junction, also not English, but it means right here, where the rib cage meets the rest of the spine. So our thoracic spine, our lumbar spine. So he's hitting this area right here, right below the ribs. Okay?
And like I said, if that's challenging for you, you can always put your hands on the foam roll, still kind of round the back a little bit, and then hit right in there. It's a very short arc. Then the next one, you're going to go up into the mid-back, holding your arms out in a Y. You might hear a little click, 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 and it'll usually feel pretty good if you do. And then you're just going to go back and forth in that mid-back for about 5 deep breaths. I always say 5 deep breaths because it's about 30 seconds. But no one actually does anything for 30 seconds and times it, except for in here with the exercises, because I got the timer. Next one is going to be kind of the upper thoracic spine and cervical spine. So going all the way to that base of the skull with your elbows bent and then your shoulders protracted up towards the ceiling. coming right in through here. Now on both these, you can always bias one side. If you got a little bit more tenderness on one side or decreased range of motion on one side, you can hit in through there or hit the other side. And same with the Y one too as well. You can always, if you find a tender spot, work on it for a little bit. So, yeah, so probably about 30 seconds, general rule of thumb. Now, if you really want to do kind of like some tissue work, meaning you're going to do it and then not work on it again for about 72 hours because you're going to actually create a little bit of inflammation so the body can go clean up the tissues in there, just light stretching. You do it for like 2 to 3 minutes. And then it's going to be sore the next day if you do that. But just opening up, increasing your range of motion, muscle soreness, about 30 seconds. So, let's everyone, yep.
We're going to walk you guys through it.
I guess it's easier on the mats.
Yeah.
All right. So like I said, if it's challenging, you put your hands on the foam roll right in through here. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we'll go arms in a Y position, so long as it's not painful. Maybe thumbs up if it is. And then 5 deep breaths coming through here. A little firm for you. If it's firm, we'll let you use Kristen's in a minute if it's too firm for you. So you can experience a little bit lighter. It feels good. One time,
Yeah, you can go.
when I was fresh out of PT school, I got something called costochondritis, and it's like inflammation of the costocartilages right here by your sternum. And it literally feels like you're having a heart attack. In fact, it is the most common false heart attacks that people go to the ER for. And so basically it literally feels like someone takes a knife and just boom, stabs you with it. It takes your breath away and it hurts really bad when it hits. But basically my scapulas and my thoracic spine weren't moving properly. And if you all follow me or see any of the stuff that I do, I hand balance all the time. And that was when I first started hand balancing. So since my shoulders weren't moving correctly on my thoracic spine, it was all the pain and inflammation was going right here in my rib cage. So I had to do that every morning. Every morning I would go click, 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 and I'd be like, ah. And after a little while, it kind of went away. But
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys just something to think about if you're buying a foam roller, okay? So this one, you can feel it is like nice and soft and squishy, like yours is really nice and soft and squishy. These are gonna be the most gentle on your body. So if you're like, wowzers, this is really tender, go to like TJ Maxx, grab one of the soft ones, right? So that's kind of the first. Then you have the second one, which is like the harder ones. So these are more of that like solid foam looking ones, right? So a lot of you guys have these kinds. And then you can get even further into these like ribbed kinds and little harder surfaces. So this is gonna be the most intense, right? So when you're looking at which foam roller is the right foam roller for you, that's just something to think about. So when we kind of take some breaks later or try different things, maybe grab one of the soft ones and see if you like it more, or grab something hard one and try it, and so we can go from there. Okay, you wanna do the shoulders?
okay, so the next one we are going to do lats and triceps. So the lats are one of the biggest muscles that you got. It starts down here and it hooks up here via the thoracolumbar fascia. It's called, extends all the way up, goes right underneath the shoulder, and then hooks up on the front of the humerus right here. So basically we're going to try and hit all this area, but spend a main focus on kind of like right in this area, right where it sends little slips to the scapula and through there. So this would be how you do the lats. Basically, you come down right in through there. You can even start kind of more towards your pelvis and then kind of roll in through here and come all the way up through there. You'll notice a lot of people are mostly tender right in through here. So
This one and then the tricep, and then we'll walk you guys through it.
okay. And then as far as the tricep is concerned, basically you'll get into sideline position. Whatever's most comfortable for you. You can put more weight on it if you really want to do it, or you can put less weight on it, and then you're going to come up right in through here. Hit that tricep, and you can go all the way around, hit all 3 heads of the tricep. All right, we're ready to do it. We'll go lats first. So remember, coming right up through here. This one's rough. Yeah, you can always go a little bit lighter too. Unweight yourself a little bit. Maybe put your hands on the ground if it's too tough for you. Yeah, really feeling that? It's like, whoa. You want to try mine? Yeah. Here you go. Try push that low back into the wall, and then coming on up. Dang, I can touch the wall now. There we go. Now it feels good. So you could probably do the spine one in the morning. That'll help you engage your transverse abdominis throughout the day.
Let's make it back
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do our lower bodies now, but before we do our lower bodies, so what we're gonna do before you even get comfortable sitting down, we're gonna do a deep squat. So start with your feet out about 45 degrees, and then knees over the toes. You're gonna come down as far as you can, okay? So yogis might go really far. Kara's got it, right? Others might not go very far. How far can you go? Yeah. Pay attention to how does it feel, where are you tight, right? Okay, so now that we have that in our minds, we're gonna foam roll and then see how we feel after. Denise. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you, we're gonna do calves and hamstrings first. So I'll show you guys that. I'll show you and then we'll do it together. But basically, this one's kind of a little bit of a core workout too, because you have to sort of lift yourself up. So you can always use like blocks or weights for your hands to lift yourself up. You can do both legs first to try that and see how your calves do. I'll walk you through it and then I'll show you and then I'll walk you through it. But then you can also take one ankle over the other and roll, okay? So I like to do that, and then I like to kind of turn to the inside and the outside, right? And then do that for a few breaths and then switch sides, okay? So that's our calves. Then we go up to our hamstrings and it's kind of the same thing. So similar position, you can go both legs first, and then if you're daring, you can cross one leg over, and then you can go up and down the hamstrings, kind of come in, come out a little bit, okay? And then you'll switch sides, okay? So let's do that together. So we're gonna do the calves. So get it kind of in the middle towards the upper side of your calves. It makes it a little easier. The more it's towards the knees, the easier it's gonna be for you to maneuver yourself. And then from there, you're gonna lift yourself up, and then you're just gonna roll. And then if you want, you can go to one leg. Calves a little easier, or are they pretty sore? I got some sore faces going. Yeah, she's like, I'm doing both legs. I'm good here. Good, make sure you hit both of them. Try kind of going in and out and seeing like, you'll get like the different bellies of the calf.
Purpose of doing that? More pressure?
More pressure. Yeah. So if you're crossing the ankles, it's more pressure. If this is already a lot for you, don't cross the ankles, okay? So you can kind of just turn together. The more you foam roll, the more it gets easier, right? And like then it's not a challenge to cross the ankles, okay? How do the calves feel? Pretty good? Okay, very sore, yes. Good, okay, now we're gonna go up to hamstrings. So same thing, I kind of find the more I have it up towards my bum, the easier it is for me to move through the range of it. So you can try both hamstrings, and then you can try one hamstring. So see how you feel with that. Get on the inside and the outside of the hamstring. So for the hamstring, it's kind of hard if you're doing both to get it, but you just kind of like twist the hips. It's all in the hips, Gail.
And if you torn or pulled your hamstring, typically it's like right here that gives you problems. So you just got to kind of get real deep in through there by probably stretching it out, straightening it out, and really just getting on that area.
Feel okay?
It's literally a pain in the butt. It's happened to me before. That's the good thing about me, though. I've had all the injuries, like Tato. So it's like,
we know how to modify all the things because we've hurt all the things. Okay, so let me show you guys glutes. Take a little break here. So for glutes, you're basically gonna come and sit up on the roller, and you're gonna cross one ankle over the other, sort of like that piriformis stretch, right? So when you're doing this, you're gonna wanna go to the side that's crossed up because it's already on stretch, right? So you're using the bottom leg to kind of lean you over, and then you're gonna kind of roll through that whole glute, okay? So you're just kind of finding the sore spots. The points that I want you to think about is you're staying in between the top of your pelvis and like your hip bone and butt bone, right? So you're kind of doing all the meat in there. So again, I'll show you on this side so you can see you cross over, and then you're going to the leg that's crossed over because that's the one that's already on stretch, and you're just kind of rolling in. Ooh, it's tight on that side today. Okay. Yeah, so then you're just rolling. When you find a spot that feels good, you just breathe there. About 5 deep breaths on each side. So pick which side you want to do first. I'll walk you through it. So
means that it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good?
Is that what you're saying?
What?
The side that feels.
Yeah, the spot that feels the worst, stay there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said good.
Yeah.
And breathe into it, and like channel your breath towards that area and just say, release, release, release.
Found the spot, found the spot. Breathe into that. Ooh-wee, my glutes are tight. Yeah, right? And especially with, like Owen was saying, the torn hamstring, it's kind of up in that area, so it's gonna, even again, the glutes release is gonna release that. Let's switch sides if we haven't switched sides yet.